to my allotment and gardening channel. This is December. I sow my onions in this month, either in the first week or second week of December. I've been doing this last 4 years. I generally leave them in my greenhouse after sowing in the trays, and they take around 20 to 25 days to germinate, and the success rate of germination is 70%. The reason being, I do not provide any heating or any other support in terms of protection to the onions. The only protection I do is put the lid on top of the trays when I sow the seeds. They take 8 to 12 weeks after the germination to grow properly and ready to be planted either in the outside or in the greenhouse. I plant my onions when they are ready in my raised bed outside in the month of March first week, or if the weather is cooperating and reasonably well, I can plant them outside in the month of March. If weather suits and good conditions, then I could do mid-February or end of February. It doesn't make much difference, but the early you plant them outside, based on the weather, the plant grows very stronger and it can withstand for a bit of cold as well. Onions generally little bit of cold tolerant. I don't say like minuses, but when it comes to 0 degrees, 2 to 5 degrees, they are quite happy in that kind of temperatures. This is my personal experience. And also onions, you can harvest them when they are young and start using them, like a garlic, like we call as a green garlic, when you harvest them when they are young. Similarly, onions also, you can harvest them when they are young. I would say maybe mid-April, something like that. You can harvest them, use in your cookings. Let us go in detail what are the different varieties I am sowing today, and also my trays, what I use for sowing, why I use those trays, etc. The varieties I am sowing today, the first one, Highlander, is a brown color onion, you can see, and the shallot, Laureate, this is really tasty, and this is single shallot, not the multiple ones. And the Sturon, normal onion, this is very good for storing. They store really well up to 8 to 10 months if you can look after properly. The next one is White Star. I really like this. The taste is slightly different and very strong as well. The photo looks small in terms of the size of the onion, but they can be really big. And the next one is, this is the Red Baron. I really like this variety. I've been sowing this last 7 years. And the next variety is Carmen. I started doing this in last 2 years. I really like this. Look at the color of the onion compared to the Red Baron. This is slightly different. Mix up a bit of purple and the red. And the Bedford Champion, this is also very good for storing. I've been doing this last 6 years. And also the crop is really good. If you look at this list, this is Isabel Rose. I really like it. The structure of the onion, and then different color compared to the Red Barons and others. That's the reason why I basically like it. It's similar to red onion, but it's not red onion. And these varieties are exhibition varieties. If you can see, this is the big onion, and this is the red variety of that mammoth onions. It's an exhibition variety. And also Elsa Craig. I think most of you guys know Elsa Craig. This can grow really half a kilo if you do it properly. But the taste of the exhibition onions are slightly different. Somehow I don't like the taste that much. We do cook it. We use in our normal cooking. The taste wise, compared to the normal onions, these exhibition onions are not great. And if you see this one, Paris Silver Skin, I really like that. This one is like a White Star variety, and It's like for pickles, and put it in a vinegar and eat it later. So it's really nice. And this one is the Indian onion. I do every year, and the success rate is 50% for this Indian onion seeds. I do like them because the taste is really nice. That's why I grow every year. So these are the varieties I'm sowing this year. These are the two varieties of spring onions I'm sowing today. First one is, if you can see, North Holland blood red. Look at the color. It looks like a bleeding blood. And the second one is Apache, and this is purple and red color mix. These two I'm sowing it today, and these seedlings are also available at the same time as my onions. End of February or mid-March, first week of March, I'm going to put them outside, and I harvest them every week, because that's the hungry period for me for onions, because my storage onions will be over by January. So I harvest them very young, these spring onions, and we can use them in salads as well. Very tasty. These are the two types of trays I use for my onion sowing. And the first one I got from the Wilkinson, very cheap. I think for £2 you get 5 of these trays, and each tray contains 40 modules. And the second is, this is a container wise. It's a very expensive, but it's worth. It's almost like a lifelong duration. Very strong. You can stand on it, and you can use for any purpose. During this time of the year, I do it for onions. I can recommend this. I'm not a YouTube promoter or anything, but in terms of durability and then quality, I can recommend this tray. And also these are the plug trays, and that means the bottom, if you see the holes, you can push the seedlings very easily. Whereas this one, you can't push the seedlings from the bottom. You will have to slowly pull them out on your own. So that's the difference. That's why I can recommend them. It's not only this particular variety of container wise, but you can find similar varieties online and in the garden centers as well. Compost. This is multi-purpose compost, peat-free compost, and the brand is Melkert. I use this most of my sowings, and there is no need to sieve or no need to add anything. If you want, you can add a bit of vermiculite or perlite. I have now filled in the compost, multi-purpose compost, in these trays, and my labels are ready, and I made a holes. All I need is just drop the seeds and then sprinkle a little bit of compost on top of it and water it. Nothing much. Finally, I managed to sow the onions and then put the lids on top of it. Here as well. Here as well. So the 6 trays, each tray has got 40 modules. I sown 3 seeds per module. So hopefully these will germinate in 15 to 20 days and be ready for planting in the month of February or March.